Hello everyone, I'm Guido Grinbaum once again, and I invite you to Module 14 of this Microcredentials course. We are experiencing a silent, profound, and definitive transformation in education. For centuries, the diploma was the ultimate symbol of knowledge, the end of a journey, the proof that someone already knew, but that is changing. Today, knowledge has no end, and the validation of skills is becoming continuous. We are entering the era of lifelong and verifiable learning. Before, we studied one career for our entire lives. Now, we learn throughout our lives to remain relevant. Microcredentials are the language of this model, and they no longer certify a degree, but rather a demonstrated, verifiable, and up-to-date capability. Learning is becoming dynamic, modular, and open, and this completely redefines the role of the university. For decades, education was a closed system, governed by accrediting institutions and slow processes. Today, it is evolving into an ecosystem, an interconnected network of universities, companies, governments, and platforms, with no single center anymore. There are thousands of knowledge nodes that interact, and each of those nodes issues, validates, or shares digital credentials. The university is no longer a tower of knowledge. It is a node of trust within a global ecosystem. Its role is not just to teach, but to validate the learning that takes place both inside and outside of it, and that validation is materialized through microcredentials. By 2030, more than 70% of the world's universities will operate on interoperable digital ecosystems. Credentials will cease to be PDF documents and will become tokens of educational value. Knowledge will leave a digital footprint, a footprint that is verifiable, traceable, and recognized globally. Learning will also become an act of certified trust. Artificial intelligence will be the driving force behind this path. It will not replace teachers, but it will personalize learning like never before. It will analyze learning paths, recommend itineraries, detect gaps, and new credentials will emerge. Each person will have a personal learning assistant, capable of building a training map tailored to their real life. Education will cease to be standardized and will become intelligent and contextual. According to the World Economic Forum, 60% of workers will need to acquire new skills before 2030. And half of the jobs will have their requirements change in their job descriptions. That means knowledge has an expiration date. The new economy is not organized by degrees, but by evidence of skills. Microcredentials will be the new currency in the job market. A person will be able to demonstrate their competencies in real time with verifiable credentials issued by different institutions. The resume will be replaced by a portfolio of credentials, a living record of what a person knows how to do. The value will no longer be in what their CV says, but in what their educational wallet can verify. Modular education will be the new standard. Long degrees will be broken down into blocks, and those blocks will be combined like Lego pieces into personalized pathways. Europe is leading the way with Erasmus Plus and the micro-credential framework. The United States is making progress with Credential Engine. And Latin America is beginning to weave its network through various initiatives. We are witnessing the birth of global knowledge stacking. In this new context, the university does not lose its prominence, it gains a new one. It ceases to be the sole issuer of diplomas and becomes the official verifier of learning. Its role is to ensure that every credential has meaning, rigor, and social value. Institutional trust will be its main asset, and that trust will be based on secure and sovereign technologies. Educational blockchain will enable traceability and authenticity. But the most profound change is not technical, it's philosophical. Knowledge will once again belong to those who generate it, the students. Each person will own their digital educational identity, having full control over their data, achievements, and evidence. Let us imagine a future in which every citizen has their own personal academic wallet. In it, they keep their credentials and certifications, their professional achievements, and can instantly share them with a company, a university, or an international agency. No paperwork, no bureaucracy, with complete educational sovereignty. This model is also deeply inclusive. It allows for the recognition of informal learning, skills acquired at work, and practical knowledge gained outside the classroom. It gives visibility to those who never had formal diplomas but do have valuable skills. Microcredentials democratize recognition, and that has a huge social impact, especially in Latin America. Accreditation systems will also change. Previously, agencies reviewed universities every 10 years. By 2030, quality will be verified in real time through the data generated by the credentials themselves. Each batch issued will be living evidence of quality, a micro, transparent, public, and verifiable accreditation. Learning will be hybrid and contextual. Part of it will take place in the classroom, another part online, and an ever-increasing part within the workplace itself. Each experience can be transformed into stackable microcredentials. The classroom will cease to be a place and will become an expanded learning environment. This change redefines the social contract of education. It's no longer enough to train professionals, we need to retrain citizens. In a world where technology changes faster than the laws, education will become the basic infrastructure of every stable society, and microcredentials will be the tool that ensures trust, traceability, and inclusion in this process. The projections are compelling. By 2030, 85% of the world's universities will issue microcredentials, 90% of their employers will recognize them, and nearly 70% of students will have their own personal academic wallet. Change is not optional. It is inevitable and it is already happening. The universities that adapt first will be the ones to define the rules of the future. Those that wait too long will have to play on a field designed by others. That's why the right moment is now. Not when the model becomes mandatory, but while there is still freedom to innovate. Microcredentials will not replace the diploma, they will transform it. The degree will still exist, but it will be the result of a traceable path, made up of intermediate achievements and demonstrated skills. The future of the diploma is digital, cumulative, and verifiable. We are leaving behind static education to enter a living, evolving, and connected education. An education that is not measured by duration, but by impact. That is not defined by borders, but by competencies. And that is not limited to youth, but accompanies us throughout life. Microcredentials are the new language of knowledge, the language of merit, transparency, and evidence. The university that learns to speak it will be relevant in the world to come because the future of learning no longer depends on the past of institutions, but on their ability to reinvent themselves. And that reinvention has already begun. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next module. I hope you enjoyed this.